What does duality mean in the context of the Dharma jewel being realized without duality? What are the two that it is free from? Nina said tanda khares tanda chukujos said Nina nuba sechava di tanda khares ni nube ni chova ni khares nube ni chova Nina nube Nina
你的了，
你的还是？
我你们意思是什么？我这，哦呀，你那弄现在了，我也忙不起来了，啊。
Does anyone have a spare pen? I found it. Okay, yes.
你那弄现在了，卡说的，你是哪的了？店主给哪几个钱？呀。아니 양 군족군 나와 직체 아니 유다 유전 타대빈 나와 지단 나와 숨이거래
So when we talk about duality it is in the context of the duality of the ultimate truth and the conventional truth the appearance of true existence, the appearance of conventional truths or obscure truths, and the appearance of the subject and object being different, being separate. So we have three appearances. When we talk about the exalted knower that knows existence exactly for what it is it is a knower that knows the ultimate truths. The exalted knower that knows itself. When we talked about earlier about the qualities of cessation, the qualities of cessation are these three. The exalted knower that knows the ultimate mode of existence, the exalted knower that knows the conventional mode of existence, all the varieties of existence, and the exalted knower that knows itself individually.
아니 산제 공부 톱제기 치고조시 샤전에 샤와대지 이나 찬찬선 바바기 뒤지지 돈이 무슨도 또비 이셰티 단이나 누비 돈이라 니나 누비 로레스 니나 누프세데 유다 유전 타대비 나와 군족이 나와 아니 된루기 나와 강간 누구야래.
So when we talk about the rare and sublime Dharma, the Dharma jewel, which is without duality, that kind of rare and sublime Dharma, as actualized by a Bodhisattva, a Mahayana Arya being, So in their case, then, their realization of emptiness is free from the duality of these three types of appearances: the appearance of true existence, the appearance of conventional truths or obscure truths, and free from the appearance of the separateness of the subject and object.
다 될라 가르래서나 인중미나와 가르래서나 네 돈이 무슨 또비 이시대리 아니 말을 바당 티 파자 강아야 길레바 마시와래 돈이 무슨 또비 이시대라.
Why does this exalted knower directly realizing emptiness? Why is it that to this exalted knower there is no such appearances? Is because it is free of all ignorance, down to its free of even the imprints of it, and so because of that, then there is no dual appearances of in respect to these three types of appearances.
유 코카레에서는 군속에 나와 누에데 동반이 무슨도 또디 유당 유전이부터 출라 추샤바신도 로지도 조고 가리.
Why is that exalted knower free of conventional appearances? Is because that exalted knower directly realizing emptiness, experiences subject and object as one, like putting water into water.
인자다 대 이나누 사바 maybe 이시.
So this.
사바 maybe 이시 시고르들라.
So such exalted knowers are known as exalted knowers free of duality, exalted knower that are totally uncontaminated.
인자 다와 타바기 말을 비라르다 차와 이시 사바 메바 센이 두송과리 아 말을 파자길 내바다 차와 인자 요 이시 사바 메바.
So therefore, Chandragirti states, saying that such exalted knowers are free from the cataracts of ignorance, meaning from the contaminations of even the imprints of ignorance, and therefore a completely uncontaminated exalted knower.
산제그 규지 돈용 무슨도 도비 이시지와라 치다와 도비 남진이 센시 치다와 도비 남진한테 안에 돈이라 니나 누비 이시레스 와 돈이라 니나 누비 이시예데 대라양 군족이 나와 요거래.
In the case of of a Buddha's exalted knower that directly realizes emptiness, that knows phenomena exactly for what they are. This omniscient mind, even though this mind is free of duality, even though in the case of a Buddha's exalted wisdom, exalted knower, directly realizing emptiness, even though this is free of duality, yet it does have the appearance of conventional truths.
대 가상 안저 이봐 지다와 또비 남진되게 세자 진예바 시그레스 진예바 또비 남진되게 세자 지다와 시그레스
This is because, as we explained earlier, that a Buddha's omniscient mind, knowing knowing phenomena exactly for what they are, knowing ultimate truths, also knows the varieties of phenomena, conventional truths. And the Buddha's omniscient mind, knowing conventional truths, the varieties of phenomena, also knows absolute truths, phenomena for what they exactly are.
다오는 대돈이라니나 누비로 이 인바이나 가르레스나 다 대돈이라니나 누비로 인자 교단데 가르레스나 돈이라니나 누비로 인이나 누비로 마인 사교와디
So how is this so, that this exalted knower of the Buddha is an exalted knower which knows emptiness directly, free of the duality. With regards to this exalted, how it is so is that it is an exalted knower which is free of duality with respect to its direct realization of emptiness, but it is not a knower which is but it's not an exalted knower which is free of duality.
Nina nubilo maimba karersa khola kunjom nangidwa.
Why is it an exalted knower which is not free of duality, but free of duality with respect to its direct realization of emptiness? Is because it is not free of the duality. So through this exalted knower, there is the vision of both conventional and ultimate modes of existence.
로와기 다시 돈이 무슨 또 별로 아니 로텔라 군주민족에 나와요 말이 유다 유제 타대에 나와요 말이 순간도 말이
through the exalted knower directly perceiving emptiness, through this exalted knower there is no appearances of conventional modes of existence, nor the separateness of subject and object.
다오는 대돈이라니나 누비로 인단 가르레스나 치다와 또비 산제 치다와 또비 남진 치다와 무슨 또비 남진 대기 요 동반이 치다와 세비 생월라 군족이 나와 요 이제 타대배 나와 아니 지가로 가짜 나와 순간 누바리 와 to the to the omniscient exalted knower, knowing ultimate modes of existence, to which in which case it is an exalted knower which is free of all duality. This exalted knower directly realizing emptiness, the ultimate modes of existence. So through this, because the object of this exalted knower, the omniscient exalted knower, the object of this exalted knower is emptiness, and so therefore it has no appearances of conventional realities, nor the separateness of subject and object. Because the object of this omniscient exalted knower is emptiness. Oh yeah, 진짜 치다와 모습도 또비 아니 이些되기 신이 치다와 습이 생으로 아니 가서래 군조연아 아니 군조 내버 두고 와래 군조 내버 두고 와래.
So if in the view of this exalted knower, omniscient exalted knower, knowing absolute truths, or knowing emptiness directly, if in the vision of this exalted knower if there is the appearance of conventional truths, then those conventional truths have to truly exist.
어, 근데 대이상 취니 지다와 또 비시 파샤니디 아니 돈이 또비 냠샤기 돈이 냠바샤비 냠샤기 돈이 시비 싱어로 돈이 가서 군조연나 돈이 시비 싱어로 군조연나 아니 된루 내가 두고 하래 와
So in seeing existence exactly for what they are, in seeing the Dharma Dhatu of the existence. And if this is seen by the exalted mind of equipoise in emptiness, if in the vision, if in the scope of the vision of this exalted mind, in the state of equipoise in emptiness, if to the vision of this equipoise there is the conventional realities, then those conventional truths or realities have to be truly existent.
Oh yeah, today in that castle,
Okay. So it was mentioned yesterday that bodhisattvas on the path of seeing take birth according to their wish and not by the power of karma. Bodhisattvas on the path of seeing have not removed the innate form of ignorance. If that is so, how are they able to avoid being propelled on the 12 links by ignorance and karma? Kesa suya de la chenju samba tholang thobe din suya ra kunan so kewa shebre china ata tu molom ge tone molom ge top ge ani kewa shigo ra
chenju samba la chamba de be
chenju samba
chamba
ma tholang thobe chenju
tholang to chamba de 네. 그 통남도는 chamba to ba de
chamba
chansen pa ba ta
네 chansen and any kunanzo kewa shia de legi top ki sheva in de maris sombres but so ta tholam thobe chenju samba nam ge ti henge ki marikba there's henge ki marikba se chora di pang yo mares and dinde yena dima pamba kunanzo kasure dinde yala ge leta marikba ge top ki kewa lambo khande syugyo mares
아니지
마요 약한
아니
그래서 말이고 생게가 빵요 말했어
really 내 녀모 랑기라 여나 녀모 되게 방그 저 량고고 말해
So even if you have afflictions, it isn't a necessity that you have to take rebirth because of those afflictions that are in oneself.
와 예전 자선 파파 대다 그 줄라 녀모 요아래 녀모 되게 왕도 손디 개발랜데 요아마래
So therefore, Arya Bodhisattvas have afflictions, but it isn't a necessity, or they don't have to be under the control of those afflictions to take birth.
대매와 마상에 가서 쉬어 임바 장선지 통남 당보 톱지 잠바 마도 관라 풍보된 사람도 나시기 내년그 풍보전 제가 나시기 라싱이 되래 통남 톱지 잠바 풍보대 풍보 개발 비행령고요 마대 풍보대 아니 가서 이지라신 걸 리고 못하고 와래스
And so not only that, bodhisattvas who attain the path of seeing, prior to the attainment of the Arya path in the path of seeing, they have these aggregates. they have these, previously prepared aggregates, and has the suffering nature of birth, aging, and sickness and death and so forth. But following that, then when they attain the Arya path, the path of seeing, then it is not necessary for them to take on another rebirth. Their body, their prior aggregate, becomes of the nature of the Yigiranshin, in the nature of mental consciousness.
o tende ki dunga tsane pang tsawane pang bare sa pang ba bi gyunjan kare re sana lenyu ki je phumbo ji yana gyu lenyu ji wang ki je go re o le da ni mo go wang ki je wa de me wa yin zang ani je wa da ga wa ki dunga yo ma re chani sa gyu la ma khoran zu sung are.
So therefore it is explicitly stated in the Uttaratantra, the Sublime Continuum, that the Mahayana Bodhisattvas, the Arya Mahayana beings, do not have, birth, aging, and sickness that are brought on by karma and delusions. Why is that? It's because they have abandoned the very roots of karma and delusions. If there is, if they haven't abandoned the root of the delusions, then you would have the aggregates that are in the nature of birth, aging, and sickness, and because you have the causes, the karma and delusions. So since they no longer have the causes, karma and delusions, so Mahayana Arya beings do not have birth, aging, and sickness brought on by karma and delusions.
Nyomo yo are tenzin yo are de tenzin teda kande resana menda ngaji sebi tukta bona hires ya maenda ngaji sebe gi tudegi khasa dala tukde sena yan yawa meje ba 대신 두 oni chasen baba juji nyomo teda dang ani khasore
So
menda ngaji sebi tuna shege nyomo binyawa kewa meje ba.
So likewise, it is said that like the four destroyers, the arhants have completely abandoned afflictions. In the case of the bodhisattvas, even though they may have afflictions, even though they may have grasping at the truth, but what is the type of that kind of grasping at the truth? What is the type of that delusion in the case of the bodhisattvas? Is that those afflictions and those grasping at the truth that bodhisattvas have are afflictions and grasping at truth rendered ineffective, like by taking medicine and mantra. So because it has been rendered ineffective, so they never, bodhisattvas, even though they may have afflictions and grasping at the truth, but they do not incur the shortcomings of having those, because they are rendered ineffective through like medicine and mantra. Regarding true paths, what is the object of the subsequent knower? lamden yorwa. Lamden la jeshe yorwa.
Jeshe
ge yu haresa.
Tonam sigre. Jeshe sigre.
Jeshe ge yu haresa. 또 통험소라 파벨람 소다.
제시에서나 지단 된지 저와를 가상은 될 수기나 통험 대라 아니 가서缺失제시 진리샤요래.缺失다缺失.
제시다.
더 봐요. 냐냐 저와 맞아. 안에 두슬라다缺失아
So so the true path, it has to be like the Arya path, so therefore equivalent to the path of seeing. So that in the path of seeing you have know of forbearance, know of Dharma, and forbearance of Dharma, and then you have subsequent knower and subsequent forbearance. These are the types of the paths on the path of seeing.
다 간절해서나 최세당 죄세세나제데 발전매람체. 다 장섬랬잖아. 장섬 특징 그 통람 발전매람체. 자. 콜라 최세당 죄세 세그 진짜리 간절해서나 다 공기 발전매람데 그 방자되라. 나랑도 대박이 방자직. 감고마기 방자직이 니요래.
So, forbearance of Dharma and subsequent forbearance, these two constitute the uninterrupted paths. And what are the objects of abandonment of these, uninterrupted paths? Are the afflictions of the desire realm and the afflictions of the form and formless realms.
티생기 통람 발전 매람 대기 너바기 녀몬 군다 연증이 가서 민주 군다다 아니 녀몬 군다 그 원다 체비 차네 콜라 최세 민다교아래 강 광마기 녀몬 군다 대기 원이 체비 차네 콜라 최세 민다와를 마도 발전 매람 찍으라래 좋아.
So in the case of the uninterrupted path, of the path of seeing on the minor path, when those paths act as an antidote on the imputed afflictions of the desire realm, when these uninterrupted paths act as the direct antidote on the imputed afflictions, then they are called, forbearance of Dharma. And when those uninterrupted paths of the path of seeing, of the minor path, act as a direct antidote on the imputed afflictions of the form and the formless realms, they are known as the subsequent forbearance.
다 된지 발전 매람디기 감숨지 통방 근원이 제비 차네 최세당 죄세 다니 다 발전되기 감숨지 통방 근원이 제니 다 대방비 아니 남로람시가라 감숨지 통방라 조위 초람 남로람지 톱지 잡아 다 남로람데라 가서 최세다 제시 명이다고 할 감숨지 통 내비 통방라 조위 차네 최세 강고만이지 통방라 조위 차네 제시 명다르마도 된다 남로람 지보들이 좋아.
So in one way you can say that these uninterrupted paths is just one path. It is only differentiated from the point of view of acting as a direct antidote to the imputed afflictions of the desire realm and to the imputed afflictions of the form and formless realms. So basically you can say that these uninterrupted paths act as a direct antidote or on the on the imputed afflictions of the three realms. And in the same way, the liberated paths, which is attained upon the total removal of the objects of abandonment of the path of seeing. And if it is if it relates to abandoning of the imputed afflictions of the desire realm, when it is totally removed, totally abandoned, then you attained the liberated path, which is known as the knower of the Dharma, in the case of having totally removed totally abandoned the imputed afflictions of the desire realm. And when one is totally removed or totally ceased, or the imputed afflictions of the form and formless realms, then it's known as the subsequent knower. So in one respect, then you can say, like the uninterrupted paths, the liberated paths are what are attained upon the total removal of the objects of, or total abandonment of the objects that are to be abandoned on the path of seeing. And it's only in relation to which realm that you have the knower of the Dharma and the subsequent knower.
And teaching also comes with Thomas, the Bangare. Diam Nyandu also comes with Thomas Rimgi Bangajari. Tambo de be Thomas. Tenia come with Thomas Bang. Then they Rimgi Badigana, and it cheers down Jesse knew the Chese J, Tini Jesse. Oh, Sabatare, Tini Jela, Jesse down Jesse J. Then they were him gent Bantisamba.
Tambo Cheseke.
Tambo Cheseke. And Cheseke come the Kama Debag Tamaginian Chane, and it upon with Cheseke.
Cheseke.
Ejela, come Kwamaki, Tomaginian Bocheva, Cheseke, and Jela Cheseke, Rimbashi the Bonget, Bantim Tindria, you are the same, Yandela.
So, from the perspective of the minor paths, then it is said that all of these, imputed afflictions of the three realms are abandoned simultaneously. But from the point of view of the Shravaka vehicle, Pratika vehicle, they say it doesn't get abandoned altogether. It has to be abandoned subsequently, step by step. So therefore, it presents a path in which you first have to generate, the knower of the Dharma. First you have to generate the forbearance of the Dharma and the knowledge of the Dharma. Then again, in relation to the desire realm, and then you have to generate the subsequent forbearance, and then the subsequent knower in relation to the afflictions of the form and formless. So it's all intersected like that in the case of the Shravaka and the Pratika vehicles. Because they accept a graduated stage of abandonment. What does it mean that the exalted knower knows itself? Tanda sosurangi rikpe yishichwa.
Sosurangi risen taji sosurangi risena tonyong mosum dobi yishiti secret. Tandati ninanum geloti.
When we talk about a knower that knows itself, that knower is a knower that directly knows emptiness.
전담 대바의 소소랑기 비 이시지 있으니까 전담 대바 무슨도 또비 이시되기 아니 리바차와레스. 그래서 내주다 tumba. 다 자단 또바기 또저 저위 추지더니 저 두고 말했다이. 아니 또배 또 두고 말했어.
Known exclusively by itself is an exalted knower that directly knows ultimate truths. In other words, that what it means is that emptiness or ultimate truths cannot be known by by words and concept. Words and concept is not thought is not sufficient form of complete knowing of what ultimate truths are about. And all exalted knowers that knows emptiness directly are known as exalted knowers that knows itself exclusively.
When you say knows itself,
So.
that means knows the object by itself.
Knows the object by itself. The Sosurangi Ripe Yishi the use Sosurangi Ripa Chisiwaras.
You don't want to Sosarangi Ripare. You don't want to do it.
Yeah, self. Okay, I made a mistake. That knows its own object. By itself knows its own object. No. That knows is Sosurangi Ripa.
It's not saying, I think it knows itself.
Yeah.
The subject that's knowing the object by itself.
Knowing the object by itself. Sosurangi Ripa the Yule Shagore.
Rari the Ishokura Shagore. Sosorari. Sosorari. Sosorangi say Gana. Tony Mosum to Toby is Tiki, Ribi, you there Tony Shaban or Sosorari Korai, Tony Mosum to be his Shaban. Can I say?
Susu Kwangisana, Susu Ripa Chimaris, you'll repatly shower.
Soso Rari is you might say, Soso Rari say Gana, Soso Rita Rigide, Soso Mosum the Ripamari, Rita Ripare. Soso Ripamari, you Mosum to Rigi, you de. You don't you put the Chula Chushapachi to Rigan de la Soso Maimba. You don't you with the Soso Maimba. You need to know Maimba. Chula Chushapachi to Ripa Yinzang, Sosorari is got it.
Sosorari. Oh, okay. Sosorari.
Sosorari, you see, you ma, Sidwa. So
that knows its object. It that knows itself. It's a self knower that knows itself, also knows the object, but it's the strength of the presentation is primarily from the point of knowing its object in that way in which it is not subject object. Knowing the ultimate mode of that kind of object. Not language, I thought like that.
Yeah.
Okay. What is Nietzsche in Nietzsche Tongba? Nietzsche da Nietzsche.
Nietzsche Tomba Sena.
Nietzsche da Nietzsche Tomba.
Nietzsche Tomba Sena, Shetamja Tomba Maimba. Tomba de Shetamja getting to Shaba Maimba. Gashi getting to Sha, Gashi getting to Shaw myself. When I didn't do Cha Sha, Jiggy Kazan, Rangi Chenji Chua, Tomba said, can you in a Chinang go put Tamja Rangi Chenji Chua Tamawa? That Rangi Jibo, Samsa Watawaga, Rangi Chenji Chua Tonga, the Kundagan to Mary Shatuga, Chetam Jetido. Koshaya go Rangi Chenji to Danko Kayadi. Intaniji Tomba said, Gashik into Shatula, Gashik into Shamudu at the Nitsa Wasiki.
Is it occasional emptiness, Nietzsche? Limited. Partial. Okay. Okay. Partial emptiness. Partial or limited. So, in the case of this, from a prasangic standpoint, then in relation to all phenomena, outer, inner, animate, inanimate phenomena. Everything is empty of existing by way of its own characteristics. From the point of view of Chittamatrans, although they talk about phenomena not existing by way of its own characteristics, it is only in relation to imputed phenomena that it says that it does not exist by way of its own characteristics. So that is how this Nyetse Tongpa means limited or partial emptiness is understood. Nietzsche?
누지 빼나 최탐제 군소유 최탐제 안리 담바 맞주바래 담배 동화래 다 돈이 세대 타도 제비 세기 머리와 인상 아니 돈이 담바 주바래 스나 다 니제 타도 니제 돈이를 좋아래 라
니체 돈
최탐제 된루기 동바래 가서 담배 동화래 라 담배 동화래 돈이 돼 담배 동화 말이 가래서 돈이 된루래 임바 가래서 돈이 타도지 저기 리시기 뭐 요아래 시 요두스나 타도지 저기 리시기 뭐를 여바당 타도지비 리시기 돈이 시비 싱을 여바니고도 배다 가가래 나중에 라이바
돈이 또베 릭시기 뭐
돈이 또비 릭시기 뭐를 여바당 돈이 또비 릭시기 돈이 녜비 녜으로 여바니고도 배다 가가래
뭐야 가가랬어 How did you translate Nietzsche? Nietzsche.
From what you said, I would say reduced in scope.
Okay, reduced in scope. 지단 책디
Nietzsche was나 Nietzsche was나 탐제를 뭐죠 봐. 초를 주거든 지게.
partial emptiness. So this is getting very stretched. Okay, so in Tibetan there's two different terms, but here let's go with first we'll go Nyetse Tongpa means limited emptiness and Nietzsche means partial emptiness. What is partial emptiness referred to here is that in relation to conventional truths, conventional truths do not truly exist, and it is empty of that true existence. Yet the mind that investigates that emptiness, that consciousness investigating the absoluteness or the final mode of existence, the consciousness investigating the final mode of existence of that emptiness. This is truly existent. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake.
No. 너서 너는 나 대중에 라이바 타도 제비 리시기 다 저런 음악한 거 질사로 하고 공부가 됐어. 네, 대시 제고. 타도 제비 리시기 뭐를 여바당 타도 세나 돈이라 봐. 다나 돈이 도비 리시기 뭐를 여바당 돈이 도비 리시기 돈이 도비 돈이 시비 시용을 여반이 배가 가래스.
네, 제르쳤으나 망부스나.
돈이 도비 리시기.
돈이 도비.
뭐를 여바당 돈이 도비 리시기 돈이 시비 시용을 여봐. 돈이 도비 돈을 여봐. 나 돈이 시비 배자를 밀려라 대라그래. 타도 주제게 리시기 뭐를 여바당 타도 제비 리시기 추니 시비 싱어 돈이 시비 싱어로 여봐
디 로가레스
아가로 다 네가 마부 투요라 나마 나라고 개야 마부 두가 요 말다
so just says there's a whole lot of difference between delete what I said before, okay? There's a whole lot of difference between that investigative consciousness, investigating emptiness means the final mode of existence. What is present in the view of this in analyzing consciousness, analyzing emptiness, and between this and the mind which has that consciousness or knower which has ascertained emptiness. Between those in the view of that knower which has totally ascertained emptiness, in the view of this knower and what is in the view of the investigative knower, investigating ultimate mode, final mode of existence, meaning emptiness. What is in the view of these two knowers or consciousness is very different. In the case of the first, it is a consciousness investigating an ultimate, not ultimate, final, so you can say emptiness or a final mode of existence. What is in the view of this investigative consciousness, and what is in the view of that consciousness that has completely ascertained emptiness? What is in the view of these two is very different.
Oh yeah, Tony Sibi, Nyamsha Yora, Tony Nyamsha, Tony Sibi, Singor Yabatan, Tony Loy, Singor Yabani with the Kaka. The Jaha go did it. The Gombara Sana la Tenduga, Tandam de la Ni. Tandam la Ni Cadere Sana, Tursam Gosuji, Rishela, Tandam to China, T. Mori Yabala, Tandam Chachik. Tema Yimba, that Gaja Tandam la Tandam Shaba, Tandam Shiji. Is a Tursam Gosuji, Rishela, Secana, Tony Toby, Tursam Gosumji, Sherab Tegi. Tony Sip, Tazam Quantum, the Sheriff Dean War, Tony Yawacha. Tony Toby, Tazam Quantum, the Sheriff Tiggy, Tony Sibi Singor, only Tony Macha. Quacaso, Kunzovic Macha, Tony Sisi, Kunzovic Macha. Tony Sibi, Tazam Quantum, Tony Sibi Singor, Kunzovic Yana, and then that's got it.
In Combarasel, Santinimojana. Which one is that? Combarasel. In the commentary to the engaging in the middle way, when presenting the ultimate truths, then you have a presentation. Presenting absolute truths from the perspective of an analytical consciousness that arises out of listening, out of some understanding or reflection and meditation, the analytical consciousness, and then you have the presentation of the ultimate truths from the perspective of the object of negation. So you have these two presentations. So, in the view of that analytical consciousness, analyzing emptiness through listening, through listening or understanding or meditation, then the perspective of that this perspective, and in the perspective of the consciousness directly seeing emptiness. Between these two perspectives, it's two completely different perspectives. Because in the case of the latter, which directly seeing emptiness, it has no conventional realities perceived at all. And in the case of the first, then you have, because it is an investigative consciousness, investigating emptiness through whatever one has heard or understood or is meditating upon. Whereas in the case of the latter, where it has the ascertainment of emptiness, what this knower sees is completely different from the previous, because in the case of the latter, you have no conventional realities to that mind. It's nothing to do with contact. No. Okay. Please explain the meaning of soso as in soso rangre. We covered? Yeah, we covered this. Okay, finished. That's all I found.
치다와 침비리 바 치니바리 바나리 소소라리 바나리 바숨보디 마 칭찬 다 자와 과하소서 자와들 대지 사이사리 아 자와들아 라신진이 원다지 니몬데네 세치로 세다지 칭찬와 제와 왜 하나 라신진이 원다지 니몬데네 세치로 세도
Huh? Verse 15. Which text are you guys using?
Sawa
there.
Oh, Ranshinjini Yonda di Nyumondena Sajiro Seste. Tatigi Semji Ranshin Nambataba, the Trimalubu, you had to get the Tajuta Shu Tsawai. That Jela Chidawato, Chiniboto.
Sure, 21? Okay. Okay, I got it. This one, yeah. Maybe it's numbered. Which number? 15. Oh, okay. Let's. Let's.
Let's on you more than a Sajiro. That in a Sheza Tatu, there'll be Tamja Chimbi, Chini Ni. 甚至他们家拉月把统计起你要把你啊，我这个你告诉了现在他都倒闭了，安尼他们家签吧是那去，安尼是其他话签没签吧是吧？我台当他们家签比去年一些呢，但去年是呢带着出境就贵啊这是，是吧？他现在他们家签比去年，甚至他们家来月呢带着这个嘛的。 甚至他们讲了，他们就比去年元呐，那他们就签把要过来的。
现在他们就签呗，现在他们就签呗去年元呐。
现在他们
就签呗去年呢。
对吧？现在他都倒闭了，他们就签比去年呢，甚至他们讲了要把统计去年要把我要把你是干了，去年把这比赛的看得起来这个人是干了，现在他都倒闭了，他们就签比去年。 那甚至他们家来要把同一期那去年吧要把下个多
So because the awareness realizing objects of knowledge and their finality sees that the nature of omniscience exists in all sentient beings. They have knowledge of the varieties. They have knowledge of the. So knowing the ultimate mode of all objects of knowledge, which is that omniscient mind, knowing existence correctly. What you cannot say is that that all sentient beings have that dharma dhatu, have that reality of knowing, have that reality of the omniscience of knowing all objects of knowledge. You cannot say that sentient beings have that dharma dhatu. Shija Tamche can be truly the same thing. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. You cannot say that sentient beings have that dharma dhatu of knowing the final mode of existence of all objects of knowledge.
탐제 침비 천이디 semja 탐제 라 여바 세가라 천이 semja 탐제 라 여바 스나 아니 semja 탐제라 아니 탐제 침비 천이 여나 아니 탐제 침바야 요고고 말해.
Because if you say that sentient beings have that dharma dhatu of omniscience, of knowing everything, then sentient beings would have to be enlightened.
Oh, that 가상아서 가면 좋아하는 신인체니 동시 가세 최전되기 등기 천이지 예나 아니 최전대 요구 그래서 가상아서 너희 가서 수니냐 민미나 수지 티심이 바칼라 규루스라 semja 탐제 그 줄라 탐제 쳔바 요아 말에 탐제 쳔바 맨나 탐제 쳔바 그 천이 가와 용 그래서.
So you see, if you state that there is an emptiness of a particular thing, you have to have the basis upon which that you're saying that there is the emptiness. So therefore, if you're talking about sentient beings having the dhamma dhatu of the omniscient mind, then you're saying that sentient beings are enlightened.
자와 셔럽 그 깔라야 뒤제 럽도 마좀나 뒤마찬이 칼라춥 동시 최전 뒤제의 매나 아니 라시지 동비 동바 뒤마 춘이 뒤마체리 용사요와 말에 송하야.
So without establishing what is compounded phenomenon and created phenomenon, and one cannot kind of comprehend what is the uncreated or uncompounded. Without there being the basis for a particular emptiness, how can you establish an emptiness?
인산다 되게 탐제 천비 다중 가사에 sem랑신지 동밤 랑신지 남바 타바데 다원 타바데 아니다 semja 탐제 그 줄라요와.
So what does the mental continuum of sentient beings, what do they have? What they have is sentient beings' mind being empty of existing by way of its own nature, inherent, they have the purity of that. Sentient being's mind has the purity of that, the purity of being the mind being empty of existing by way of its own nature, intrinsic existence.
가서 탐제 침박 산제기 셈 랑신지 타바 셈정을 줄라 여바지 랑신지 마주바 셈정 줄라 산제기 셈
랑신지 타바
랑신지 타바 랑신지 마주바 랑신지 동바 다 두조 강가 셈정 줄라 지게바 지바래
So what do sentient beings do have, which Sangye Sem? What do sentient beings have, which is the Buddha's mind, is that which is pure by nature, by nature empty, by nature non-truly existent. Sentient beings have that Buddha mind. So this Buddha mind, which does not exist by way of its own nature or intrinsically, this is the Dhamma Dhatu. This Buddha mind in sentient beings, which is empty by nature, is also Dhamma Dhatu. This Buddha mind in sentient beings, which does not exist by way of its own nature, but that which does not exist truly, it is the Dhamma Dhatu, the ultimate reality.
Koran chini yenjang yinayang sanje gi sem rashi ji namba thapa sanje gi sem gi tingi chini yinayang ko tayebe sanje gi chini yoba togo amare.
Even though sentient beings have this Dhamma Dhatu of the Buddha mind, the mind which is naturally pure. Even though sentient beings have this doesn't mean that the sentient beings are enlightened.
That
is the difference.
Koran Rashi Tabaji Chini, Rashi Tabaji Yebe, Sanja Yeba Mundo, Samjang Jula, Sanja Sam Rashi Taba Yoade, Rashi Matua Yoade, Rashi Meba Yoade, Sem Medical Sam Rashi Meba Yogota.
Even though sentient beings have that Buddha mind, which is naturally pure, but it does not translate into being an enlightened mind. Sentient beings do have that Buddha mind, which is that natural purity of non-inherent existence, non-true existence. But it doesn't mean that mind is enlightened.
I think so
this is this is what is known as the omniscient mind, knowing all, completely.
아니 소소랑 시통하니 세가라 아니 치다와 도비 이시데 아니 소소랑 르비 이시 다중한지 시에데 소소랑 르비 이시 치다와 도비 이시데 소소랑 르비 이시 소소랑 르 세데 다중기 돈용 모습도 도비 이시데 소소랑 르비 이시레 요동바 니랑 요전 동바니 아니 소소를 많이 봐 출라 추샤바 소소 나나 요다 요전 타대게 나와 요구래 요단 요전 타다게 나와 누바 인장 소소를 많이 봐 출라 쳐샤봐 로지도 송와 인장 아니 오 가서서 소소 가서래 대다도 봐 간이지 소소랑 시통와 니 세가라 나를 받에 시작이요 말해
This exalted knower that knows ultimate truths or knows phenomena correctly is also is known as a knower, a self-knower that knows its object. The feature of an exalted self-knower knowing its object, no?
This one.
Okay, to tell you what it is about in detail is that in the case of this knower, its object is only emptiness. Okay, and in the subjective, its object is emptiness. The subject is such that it is free of duality of subject and object. The mind is like that, and its object is emptiness. So, how do you and
this one. Tadet mina sosor rangrix. Ninang sosor nangna. Ani ninang nisuna yogu garwala. Yudan yujen niwo de sosor manangwa. Yudan yujen niwo de chula chusha de ganla. Rojik to joanashi. Wani yomarwa. Otenashi jani. Yudan yujen nisuna wa de nomni. Ani kasore. chula chusha bachindu nambe lode tatadem
nina nube kone shembe yishechirwa kimbe
inju dagare donyo ngosu biji korare.
So in other words, basically it is an exalted knower that knows only emptiness, and by giving it this term, self-knower, knowing itself, knowing individually, a self-knower that knows individually, it kind of shows the qualities of the subject, which is free of duality, and an object that is exclusively only emptiness. But the
대치 말이라 가서 리뷰한데 숨보대. 그러나 치다 진이 난기를 이시스바 타베지. 세죠 치다와 리바 진예바 리바 아니 가서 나리바 숨보대. 대추치 마체.
So basically we are talking about the three qualities of that knower, knowing correctly, knowing completely, and knowing a self-knower that knows individually. Something like that. It's kind of like in this translation it says an inner primordial wisdom. It says like that, but it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. Huh? In this one, what does it say?
Are just perceptions by their own consciousness individually.
Yeah, so basically that's the third type of knower of this, having these qualities of the three knower, knowing basically correctly, completely, and own consciousness.
양은 두지잖아. 소소라를 선조 고야지야 요아래. 라 타바 현당 안에 통어 많이 봐. 아니 가사 소소랑기 아니 이些저 가사 소소랑기 아니 돈이 도비 이些되게 봐.
So
it's an exalted knower
that is your own individual knower that is not common to other Arya beings. Not common with anybody else, but it's your own exclusive knower. Your own super-mundane, exalted knower that knows this object. Okay. When we talk about a super-mundane, exalted knower, an uncontaminated, exalted knower, it has to be a knower that knows only emptiness. And then in the basic element of non-defilement, there are no passions and no obstacles. Thus, those are pure. So, tanda gengi timi ing de le deshika.
Timi is in a similar ranshin jituma mebe. Ranshin lubu namda sanjala jaya sonata kasore. Ranshin dang lubu jitima namba tabe sanje ki chuni tela nyomo be chabai tabata. Ani toba me toba serigala shiru ki tabata. Ani member jibe taba. Ta kanja lamding kola shagu lamding yendala shagu ata.
So on. Basically, this line is talking about the qualities of the true path. The non-defilement refers to the purity of the two states. The natural purity, the purity from the provisional defilements, the natural purity. Non-defilement, there are no passions, meaning, the purity from all the afflictions of attachment and so forth. The purity from the obscuration, where it says, and no obstacles, meaning being pure, having the purity of the obscuration to knowing, the knowledge obstacle, the purity of the obstacle, being free from the obstacle to know all objects of knowledge, and thus those are pure. Refers to what it refers to is that
Oh yeah, that dijela. Ani kaso tome china taba ni. Ishi siba taba ne sanje ishi lami chiri. Ishi siba taba ne sanje ishi lami chiri. Papa chime toba ni lujengu jita wino. Seyedegi. Da ishi siba taba seyedi. Tela chidawa yoba siba niji. Sheja chidawa toni siba niji. Ani semjenji kamranchinji namba tabi. Ni kamna ranchinji namba tabi yujen yinpi cheresi. Chidawa siba yinzang semjenji kamranchinji namba taba chidawa yinzang tigi yujen reesi.
Tanda gengi suya da katin kucho desu.
Ta wadi tingi muduwe. Dana zawa la gasare. Time yin la chame dang. Ani tome china taba yi. Se tigi 어느 가서래 녀모 비치면 타바당 시드 그치면 타바대셔
Dilapsa.
타바대셔 다 디오라 이세스바 타바나 산제 이시 치면 라메 치르스 시티 전다셔고 나 그래서 뒤에 간다서래서나 지다와 세자 지다와 여바 스바 니지 아니 샘젠지 감 간서 가서래 라신지 남바타바 시자 시다와 여바 생각에 샘젠지 감 라신지 남바타바 시비 유전인바 유전레스 감 라신지 남바타바 유전인비 균전 티치나 아니 된진지 미바
So, and then verse 18, where it says, "Thus the sight of these wisdoms is pure. It is close to being the unsurpassed wisdom of a Buddha." So, here what is being referred to is that the wisdom here being referred to is the exalted knower that knows ultimate truths or knows correctly, and knowing correctly the sentient beings, element, the Buddha nature, which is that natural purity, and this subject, this exalted knower, knowing this element of natural purity, in the view of this, then it is without any kind of grasping at the truth. Then it is without. In the view of this subject, this exalted knower, knowing the natural purity of the element or the Buddha nature of sentient beings, then it does not observe any true existence. So earlier we talked about being free of attachment and being free of obstacles. So it's saying this is the reason why it is without attachment. So because you have that exalted knower knowing correctly, exactly for what it is, so it knows sentient beings, or element or Buddha nature which is naturally pure. Knowing this, what it means to know the element, the natural purity of the element means, realizing the emptiness, realizing what it means is come ranshing number tapa
tobi number tabi yujen bichina ranshin number tapa tomba ni che te tobi yujen sina tobi ishira sigore yujen bichina ta 인증이 또 되어 말했어. 인증이 잡아야 말했어.
Because it is a subject, because this exalted knower is a subject which knows the natural purity of the element, basically meaning knows emptiness. So to this subjective mind, then there is no, grasping at true existence, and so therefore it is without attachment.
但现在企业吧。 여봐 시바 니지 아나 세자 탐에 바기 유전 세지 남랑 친이 봐 여봐 대탐제지 아니 유전 인비 친나 아니 세자 세와라 파도 제바 그 토바 파도 제바 그 토비 제바 요 말에
So because of having the exalted knower that knows completely, because it sees the limitless objects of knowledge. So this subjective mind, of such an exalted this subjective mind has no obstacles to what it knows.
That is 가서 이시 스바 타반네 아니 산제 이시 라메 칠 세데기 다 이시 스바 타바사 공도 셰비 치다와 르바당 치예바 르바당 나 르바 세게 나게 이시 스바 타반나 다 산제 지란 이시 라나메 비 창주 토발라 녀월 추바 녀월 추바 인상 아니 자주 선바 파바 칠모도 많이 뇌장그지 짭이노 짭 인배 아니 멤버지 바탐제라 초와레
망쳐도
no
the
탄타보데 두체
이시스바
타바나 세데 이시스바데 치다와당 칭예바당 나리비 이시스바 타베 아니 산제지 이시 라나 메비칠 라나 메비 자주 대단이야 초와레스.
So, because of because of the vision of these exalted knowers, what is seen by the exalted knower, knowing correctly, knowing completely, knowing internally. Because these knowers are so pure, it is very close, these knowers are very close to attaining the unsurpassable, exalted knower of the Buddha. It is, because of these three knowers, knowing correctly, completely, and that inner knowing is pure. So, because it's pure, so it is very close to attaining the unsurpassable knower of the Buddhas.
Oh yeah, 산제 이시라나 메바당 태당 녀월 추베 다 자주 선바 바바 치미도 바사데 아니라 치매도배 장주 선바 갑등 무슨 땜바데 사제바 와샤니 와 봐봐 치매도 바데 아니 뇌장구지 잡이노 세군 와
such exalted knowers, which is so very close to attaining the unsurpassable knower of the Buddhas, is what the Bodhisattvas on the 8th bhumi, the irreversible Bodhisattvas on the 8th bhumi, they have it, and so therefore they are the refuge for all embodied beings because of having this exalted knower, which is so close to attaining the unsurpassable knower of the Buddhas.
아니 가서래 멤버 집발라 쳐와 팀에 이식 삼바텔라 줘와
so such bodhisattvas on the 8th bhumi with such exalted knowers then are objects of refuge for all embodied beings and are free of all lesser objectives or lesser aims, meaning individual goals like Hinayana goals are free of that obstacle, obscuration.
Oh yeah, 대인자 가래를 농지라 지시 사자 마도 봐 계속 특반 멤버 즉
So therefore it is in some scriptures it says that until you attain the 8th bhumi, then you can be destroyed by your individual goals.
이제 팀에 이제 그 300치마데 사제바 파도 몇 번. 팀에 이제 그 300대 원주와 가야 돼. 안에 특바치 뭐를 사바나 가고요 아래디. 다 뒤그 치마데 사제바 파도 안에 밀지바. 사제바라 팀에 이제 그 300대 안에 가서 뭐 300 타바당. 이러와 니 가서래 사등바 매제래 쳐봐도 파바기 아니 연단 토바 니모바래 초와 인상 안티내가라 갑등무스 때비 아니 가서래 치매도 자주선 받더라 안에 자선 사게바 연재 쇼고요 말에 이러와
So it says that of course when one is awakened into the Mahayana lineage, then you do come to abandon the gross manifest forms of individual interest or Hinayana objectives, but you still have the defilements from it. The defilements from it, doesn't get purified until you get to the 8th bhumi. And so on the 8th bhumi is when you gain the purity from these defilements of your own individual interest. And so therefore, that is how, you differentiate in extraordinary qualities from the 7th bhumi, from the 7th ground. Because in the 8th bhumi, 8th ground, then one is totally liberated from all of one's from all of one's afflictions, and so on, and therefore, gain the pure, having gained the purity of one's individual interest, and so therefore, as a bodhisattva, then one has attained the state of irreversibility from that state.
Oh yeah, that's it. 다 토해대 아니. 다시 쉬와 나신테 다시 공도 쉬와 나신 안보는 보라 잘람체 안보 뒤라 아니 통랑 그네가라 안보 두지나 아니 사게바니 마투스 통가 말.
The signs of having attained the state of irreversibility in the case of of someone who is very wise, very intelligent, then that sign is attained when one attains the heat level of the path of preparation. And for those of a middling intelligence, then when one attains the path of seeing, and for those of the lowest capacity, then the mark is attained on the 8th bhumi.
Oh yeah,
So we'll stop here for today.